we are not the biggest emitters.
Yes,
So
it's not even
you can't
us.
do. It's like solving a problem that hata si yako.
Yeah, that's why we are saying mitigating can be. We can try as a country, and but listen, it's say Africa is contributing to 3%. Is it 3%? Is it still
Sa
at
imepanda
3%?
but it's still at 3
It's
point
still at
something.
3 point something
Haijafika, I
of
doubt kama
the
imefika.
emissions.
Total global
Total
emissions. Yeah.
global. I've not said Kenya. I've said Africa.
Africa,
Yes.
yani hizo ni hizo
So if
50
you
sijui something countries
so if
combined.
you get our own emission as a country,
0 point.
it does not equivalent us to planting a million trees. Anyway, let's just say African community.
Yes,
it's not living.
Yeah.
Let me
So
leave this tree thing.
you realize that then even climate leadership comes in, because now what you're
Yes.
talking about has nothing to do with enterprises. It has nothing. It has things to do with coming up with strategies.
Yes,
And that's
strategy.
leadership. But wewe unaulizwa hii uko nayo?
Yes.
Sina. Hata una reason kama hao magavana. Uko na hii hauna. Hata una reason.
I
This is Sibuna.
but for the let me just say me those government me I don't even continue.
It's not going to
watching
be
those
easy in this
things.
country.
Hey,
Living in this country is not going
the
to be
people
easy.
shall.
We
And now they
shall.
are saying they don't want to be in the news, those things.
Pesa kama ni yako ni sawa.
Hello, good people. I feel like you're seeing me in the same cloth. 2 episodes a row. That means I recorded those episodes the same day. But anyway, welcome to this amazing episode of the Urban Online Show. My name is June, and right now I want us to talk about something that might be affecting young entrepreneurs in the community, especially the green entrepreneurs and innovators. We are going to define what that is in a few, but I'm not going to do that alone. With me is Edwin Sifuna. Sorry,
Sisi ndio
guys.
Sifuna.
Edwin. Yes.
Yes, my name is Edwin again. Sijabadilisha jina.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a good opportunity to look at green enterprises, to look at innovation.
innovations,
What
yeah.
does it even really mean when we talk
That's
about
where, yeah.
greening and things like that?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's where I want us to start.
Mm.
I feel like I should just sit like this because like you're one person. Nikae tu hivi to have this conversation. But let's start. What is green entrepreneurship? Because tunajua entrepreneurship ile tulifundishwa.
And actually, I think it's simply that.
Okay. What
Yeah.
is entrepreneurship?
I
My
think it's simply
business
that.
teacher right now.
Is wondering what is happening.
Yeah.
I think it's simply that entrepreneurship, and let's not complicate it with any.
In a layman's language.
Yes, just being able to come up with a unique idea. The word unique there is underlined, bold, and written in red.
Unique.
Unique idea that then solves a problem within a community. So I don't like really to talk about entrepreneurship. I like talking about social entrepreneurship.
Okay, social entrepreneurship.
Because now you are solving a community problem,
but also earning,
also earning some money for sustainability.
Yeah.
And someone will say, what I'm saying is simply business. Yes, but businesses, number one, you are not really into communal problems. You're solving a problem, yes, but it could be specific problem for a business, for an individual. But for social entrepreneurship, you're looking at for the benefit of a benefit of a larger community. So I'm not going to start a business to sell you food or to sell you shoes because you love shoes. Yes, I'm solving your problem, but it is simply yours.
Yes.
But if I'm starting a venture that then helps that helps people maybe enroll to school. So maybe I've come up with some solution for education. Yes, it is still a business, but I'm solving a communal problem.
Yeah.
So that then brings the difference between just normal businesses, normal entrepreneurship, and social entrepreneurship. So those are three different things. And I'm repeating, normal business, just solving any problem. You don't have to look at whether it's
with
good
the
for the
getting money.
Some of them is not even solving a problem.
Yeah,
it's just
you
making
just want to
someone
get
look
money.
good. So for example, if I start a business that helps people build their PR.
Yeah, because when you talk about shoes, you might like
it's it's a
Someone can,
want. It's not
yeah,
a
it's,
need.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a want.
Yes.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah. So that is just a business.
Yeah.
And then it must not be unique. You remember when I said underline the word unique? So for businesses, I might even decide to start selling pens.
Yeah.
That's not
Because
entrepreneurship,
I
really.
was about to ask you, when you say unique, you go to an area and you find like 13 different shops selling the same thing.
I can go there and also start my 14th thing
Yeah,
that I'm
of the
selling.
same thing.
Yeah, that's business.
Okay.
And it's okay. By the way, it's okay. Kuna hii pressure mingi tunajipa ya
Sometimes
sijui you have to.
Okay, it's okay.
If you're selling, please, it's okay.
It's okay.
So na kwa business hakuna copy pasting. So ukifungua duka hapa and I can also put duka next to you and sell. Let's sell. Wacha tuuze.
Hautakasirika.
But you see, now that's your personal problem.
Okay.
Like we
Because me
kukasirika.
personally, I feel like as a businesswoman,
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes it's normally unfair. Before I came here,
Yeah.
this business was not here. And then I introduced my water. I want to start selling water.
Yeah.
Then you also come and sunga kuja mbele yangu before I came. And anyway, that is just a personal opinion.
You need to upgrade if you are a business, but this is just a simple
Or like
solution.
come with a different way so that people can distinguish. Okay.
If you are selling water and you come next to me that you're selling water, I start doing wholesale to you. You become my client, and then sasa mina stop yangu.
What if I cannot sell like wholesale? Like you're like, okay, anyway. That
But
is
hizo
just
ni
a
mashine za
personal.
watu wa business.
Yes. Okay, let's continue.
The reason why I'm saying this, there is this pressure, entrepreneurship pressure, where young people think they have to have a unique idea.
Yeah.
Do you know how hard is it to come up with a unicorn idea? Like something no one has ever done before.
Yeah. It's even hard to get unicorns.
And many young people are stuck in that loop of waiting for this big idea. So for me, when I say business is not bad, I'm not saying that, okay, go next to the person selling shoes and also start selling shoes. Bad blood iko hapo, wachana nayo. What I'm saying is, if you can cook good mandazi and sell and get something, let's cook a good mandazi and don't wait to come up with some unique app. Like you see.
Here is what I'm saying. What I mean. Just so you know, people now will come attack me because I'm saying I don't like people. This is what I'm saying. But let's use mandazi. If I'm selling mandazi,
Yes.
right? You also want to come and sell
Sell
mandazi in the
mandazi,
same place. Can you make these things have like a different, like maybe later my mandazi is like your shape, let yours be like circle, or let me I'm not using lemon, you use lemon, or I'm not like, you know what I'm saying. So it's the same thing, but trying to, cause it's also,
or you can even look
I
at
know,
what I'm not
yes,
solving.
you're
So
not
maybe
solving.
wewe unauza mandazi but you're not doing deliveries.
Yes.
So let me start doing deliveries.
Or mimi nauza mandazi and this someone has to go and look for tea somewhere else. So you introduce mandazi and tea. What the pressure is not always about introducing like starting a business. The pressure is how do you make your business
unique.
We are all selling like tomato, but how do we make it different for people to, because you're also competing against customers, right? So how, and if especially if this person came first, how do you want to make you also get customers? Get what I'm saying? So it's not about the product that you're selling. It might be the same product, but what will make you get customers if you're in a place where a lot of people are having the same. So the easiest way people opt to is coming with a unique, you know, when you come with a different product.
The reason why I'm quiet and you're speaking is because you're explaining what entrepreneurship is. Because now I was like, business is simply starting to sell nyanya
So
and
this
sell.
is entrepreneurship.
Now what
My
you're going
business
to
is
then you're going to
Yes,
entrepreneurship.
yes.
So
Okay.
the pressure I was saying is that people would want to be entrepreneurs in their heads first. So me, I have no problem when you come and start selling the same mandazi that I'm selling. Of course, kutakuwa na bad blood hapo. But then how do you change? You have started a business, but now how do you change this business to be an entrepreneurship? Now you start talking about hizo vitu naongelea. A unique nini, mandazi yangu
I'm
nitakuwa
smart, like way smart.
Exactly.
Yes.
Again, you I want to belabor this point
Okay,
because I've
sorry.
been in this space and kitu imekuwa ikiumiza watu wengi ni hiyo. Yeah. You know that you need to have a unique idea, but you're taking so long
to have an idea
and make it unique. What I'm saying is that start, then make it unique as you go.
The first step is
just
starting
start
the
a
idea.
business.
Then you'll make it unique as you continue.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that was a side point, of course, very far from us defining what.
Yeah. So that was like entrepreneurship.
So working with young people, that is one of the biggest problem. People out there would call it procrastinating, but that is not procrastinating. That is simply someone busy every day looking for an idea, trying to make it perfect in their head before they start there.
Yeah. I want to make a point, but I've realized I'm not making it. But let me just not make it, because it might come out not the way I am saying it, but someone might interpret it.
Work on it. Before we finish this, we'll say it. Yeah. Okay, so we have defined entrepreneurship, business, social entrepreneurship. So, what makes green entrepreneurs green?
Yeah.
It's simple. It's one of those words that I'm always saying that if you look at it from the word, maybe you want to derive meaning from the word, you would have had. It's more of what we were talking about male champions in the other episode. Yeah. If you have not watched that, you should go watch. We were asking ourselves, what is a male champion?
That those things that it's hard to like have
from
a definition.
From the word, like what do you mean by green entrepreneurship? But it is simply looking at, we talked about entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship being solving a problem. Yes. But now you're looking at specific problems. Yeah. So it's the same social entrepreneurship. It's the same focusing on communal problems. But for you, you're looking at those problems that only touches on climate change, environment. That's the only difference.
Can it be also that this, okay, you don't have like to differentiate, your first social enterprise before it became green, your first social enterprise. So when you have like, you've identified the problem you want to solve for the community, that is now the community, right? And then in that community also you have environment. So when you now decide how do you solve this problem to the community, but also protecting the environment.
So we have two things there. There is green entrepreneurship, which is different from having green of I don't know. I don't want to use the same words. But there is one aspect of your business becoming green, but there is another aspect of having a green entrepreneurship venture. So I would say, if I start tree seedlings, that is green entrepreneurship. It's a green venture, right? I'm solving a communal problem by providing seedlings for trees, and that then leads to us working on carbon and all that. So that it's practical. But if I'm Safaricom, I'm like I'm a telecommunication company, right? But I want to be green. So
you're already green.
So
Safaricom is.
But that
I'm sorry.
So instead of having switch where people will forget to switch off lights, naweka zile automatic sensor. When workers go out, so I'm helping in reducing waste.
Okay.
So I'm becoming green. Okay, but so it's not.
So there is. You're not a green enterprise, but you're making an enterprise become green.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have two things there.
So
we have two things
there.
Yes. So I might entirely not even be working on green. And when I say about green entrepreneurship, I don't mean those ones. Let's be clear. Ones? I don't mean enterprises that are working to become green. So you can't call Safaricom now that Safaricom is green entrepreneurship. Because no.
Okay. Now I've understood what you're saying. So you're saying that green enterprises are solely the enterprises that are working towards climate change, climate action, and environmental conservation
Yeah.
entirely. Like for example, when you are um you want to provide renewable energy, or let me an easy example, when you want to start tree seedling business. So that is like specifically you're trying to fight climate change and do environmental conservation. But now there's also an aspect that you have a business but you want to make it green. Which means you are selling mandazi. Yes. There's no relationship between
Mandazi
mandazis
and
and climate change and environment. But because you are selling mandazi and you've started being environmental conscious, instead of people throwing these nini za mandazi, you have a place where people are putting them, and then
or maybe you just change your packaging.
or you change your packaging. You're no longer using plastic
Polythene, you're using
okay,
biodegradable packaging.
okay. So that means you don't have any like much to do with like climate change, but you're just making sure that your business has a way of protecting the environment.
So if I was using charcoal kuchoma hiyo mafuta, maybe I change and start using something like cats, or start using just changing my source of fuel while cooking.
Okay. Up to there, who is lost? Is it making sense? Just comment. We can, because it might be like confusing. Green enterprises and making enterprises green.
Yeah.
Becoming green.
But they are two different things.
They are two different
All of
things.
them very good things.
Very good things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know you can also have a green enterprise that is not green?
Okay.
So for example, if we are having a green business, right?
Having a green enterprise that is not green.
Yes.
Okay, we are getting into something.
So we were talking about your business becoming green, and of course being in a green business. So for example, whether you are selling seedlings, but wewe ndio unawachanga lights on all the time, your practices are not minimizing waste. Maybe mko na tap hapo, unawachanga tu tap ina run. So as much as you are,
that will mean also it's bringing me to a different point.
Yeah.
That may mean, what was your reason for, because green enterprises and social enterprises, the main reason for starting those enterprises are not normally like money.
Yeah, because you don't make a ton of money
you don't
from
make
those
a
ones.
ton. Actually, you don't make a ton of money from.
I thought you wanted to say actually you don't make money.
No, you make money,
yeah.
but you can't compare it.
You can't
and we are
compare
going to
with
go into
commercial,
that, right?
yeah.
We're going to go into that. So, for example, what you're saying now, if you are, there are people that sell tree seedlings, huko kwa mabarabara, tree seedlings. But for them, they're not selling it because when you plant trees, you're going to be doing, I don't know, carbon,
exactly.
what. Them, they're
How
just
wameona
selling trees.
biashara?
Yes, they have identified these are buildings and they might need trees to plant in their
Let me
compound.
sell trees.
Let me sell trees.
Yes.
So that is not like a green enterprise. That is like just a business.
It's normal. It's hard to. That's why I'm bringing them up, because it's difficult. It's very difficult to define such.
Take it slow. So this from that understanding, it means for you to be a green entrepreneur,
Yes.
you have to understand.
It's important.
Okay, it's important to understand climate action and identify a problem that is as a result of climate change and come up with a solution to either adapt or mitigate to that problem that is as a result of climate change.
Yes.
And then now it becomes like, now money comes in when you now start to commercialize the problem. The first thing you did is you understood what climate change is. You identified the impact of climate change in your community. Then that impact is like the problem. Then you came up with a solution. Then the last thing now, you started to, how do I earn from this my solution? Now that is agreement.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. That's a green enterprise because you're literally solving a problem that revolves around climate change. Now,
Okay.
I also want to
Cool.
add a few things there.
Okay.
Yeah, when we are talking about, because we don't want to close doors here. People think climate change is the only environmental issue we have.
Okay.
So
But
climate change is
it's like
one
the
of,
elephant or
yes, in the
yes,
room,
yes.
but the room is so big.
Okay.
So we are not saying that it has to be related to climate change.
Okay.
It could be generally environmental initiative. So it's very hard, of course, mtu ataniambia sasa which environmental
But
initiative
listen,
does not
I'm,
connect
I'm
to.
even going to ask
But
you
it's the same
most.
thing the other time we were saying. How does cleanup relates to? But cleanup is
It's
an
a
is
far
a
fetched. It's either it's far fetched. Now you're trying to like, cause there are things that cause climate change,
yes,
right? And
yes,
when you educating people about climate, you
yes,
start from uko like the
yes,
simple things, like, and then now you try and connect it. For example, you said cleanup. You
yeah.
try to connect it
Cleanup
how
will
a
do.
clean environment, okay, how a dirty environment now leads to what, and now it leads to climate.
Mm.
So how is it possible now? This how is it possible to have an environmental
Mm.
problem that does not contribute to?
Yeah, I was like, if you start water vending, if you start water vending, right? And for you, you're like, I want to look at the blue economy, blue area, and say that, can we look at recycling water in my community? So that imagine community members wametumia kufua. Of course, I'm talking with those communities that don't have their own bathrooms and they have communal washing plots.
Hata wenye wako na bathroom can
Yeah,
reuse water.
so if imagine, can I have an innovative way where au mama wakishaosha hapo mali wanaoshanga, that water goes to a tank, and then that tank is used to maybe clean those communal toilets ziko hapo. And then I will tell you that, it has to connect to climate change. And then I ask you, how does that connect to climate change? So what I'm trying to say is that you don't need to really belabor that all your environmental initiatives, you have to find a link. Some links are so far.
But they're there. That
They are
is the
there,
thing.
yes. Of
Yes,
course, many of those things are there.
all of
But
them.
do you know
But they
why
are like
do you know
fires.
why I'm avoiding people getting into this cocoons of people really watu hawafanyi vitu. For example, when I started, I said young people are really struggling to get the word unique enterprises, but than simply just starting enterprises and making money and then figuring it out as you move. Do you know some people don't start environmental initiatives because they're finding it very hard to connect it to climate change? And for me, I'm like, just start even with that cleanup. If you can have an enterprise around the cleanup, just start. Tutai connect mbele
But
tukisonga.
the problem is not also these
Yeah.
people. The problem is, should I say this? The problem is for this person to struggle to
Yeah.
connect it to climate
Mm.
change, the person has a goal. Maybe the
Mm.
person is looking for funding. And
Mm.
for me to come and fund your initiative,
Mm.
because we know, and you're going to get into this,
Mm.
like we said, these green enterprises or environmental enterprises, like you're saying, getting into the market is like a very very
Difficult thing.
difficult thing. So you need like a boost, and most of these boosts are from funding. And for you to get funding, you
They
have to
want you to
connect it to a
connect.
cause, and at this point this cause is
Yeah.
climate change. You get what I'm saying? So for someone, if
Mm.
if I have, like you're saying, I'm going to get into the blue, yes,
Economy.
economy, the water thing, yeah, and maybe I've identified the problem is, and I have money to do that, I will not even bother connecting it to climate. Connecting it to climate change now comes when I want to pitch this idea to you to help me fund this business of mine, and your cause is climate change. Now I have to connect how is water, climate change, all that. I think that is where the problem comes. But
No,
I know if
I,
the
I get it 100%,
yeah.
and for me, the only thing I would say about that is that it's very unfortunate,
Yeah, which is
because
very
I
unfortunate.
don't want to say what to do in that case,
Yeah,
because
which is very
I'm also not
unfortunate.
naive to think that you can survive without that funding.
Yes,
So I know some people can't.
especially in the green enterprises.
Yes,
Most, actually most,
exactly.
unless like you really
So
really
let's
really
speak of an ideal world that does not exist. Again, guys, in an ideal world where an ideal world which does not exist means everything is just fine. If
let's not.
everything is, please don't, if you to say assume pia ati kuna watu hawawezi. So I'm saying, if you have an idea and you can, and you're not looking for external funding,
Yes.
which I know that is where every young person should go, please don't really try to make it connect to the script. Kama uko na kitu inaweza saidia community yako, cause and you know, those are some of the advocacy work we are doing around local led climate solutions. Because what some of the things we are borrowing and we want to implement in our locality are not local initiatives,
Yes.
and we are just doing them because we can get funding, but they are not supporting our local people.
Also, before someone misquotes you there, I want to say this point. Also, the reason why, like, you have to, because if you really look at these things, if you look at it from the south to the water, you have, like, there is a connection. You'll connect it with climate change, whether it's far-fetched or not. Like, for me, I feel most of the environmental problems,
You can
you can connect them to climate change.
almost 90%.
Almost 90%, which is so. I won't want to say that young people that are trying to connect their initiatives to climate change, not really trying, getting the clear, because they know,
They know it's
yeah,
connects, but
because you know
how to
the way
get
you're
clear
saying the local
definitions.
solutions, they, like, they know. And when you look at the indigenous knowledge on climate change, actually, without even understanding the scientific language of climate
They
change,
can't
they
put it in
are,
paper.
yes, so they
Yes.
can't put it. So the problems comes when now you have to put it, because for us to fund those
Yeah.
indigenous, they have
To read it.
to read it. And the problems comes, it might be like a really traditional
Way
way of doing something that is really 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 really
working.
connecting to climate change, but not putting it in paper. So I wouldn't want to say that it's also because of, like, young people are pegged into shifting their focus into funding. They might be doing it really, but you know, because of climate change, information has not really circulated so much into indigenous community with the scientific knowledge. I'm saying the scientific knowledge, and in the informal settlements, those communities, the indigenous community generally. So sometimes finding the right words, because you know, in climate change, there are words you need to use, there are words, there are terms you need to come up with to show it's either you're adapting or mitigating, stuff like that. And if you are from the local community, which you're saying, it might be difficult. So it might be a struggle. But the connection is really, really there. When you just sit down and start looking at it, you find it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, young people sit down to find it and not do it.
So that is the problem. So the problem
Exactly.
comes in now to funding that is pegged on the written knowledge or the written connection of this initiative rather than the solution itself. Because sometimes, this is if I had money, if I was a funder,
Yeah.
and I've identified or I've seen an application from an indigenous community on a solution they're offering, sorry, or a green enterprise, that a green enterprise startup that they're doing, and they need a boost, and I don't understand that startup because the climate change language is not there.
Yeah.
What you need to do is not to reject or make this young person suffer or taking time to look at how do I connect this, what are the terms I need to use. Why don't you, like, come and, like, for example, experience, then because come with experts, the language people, the academia people, come with them, let these young people like explain to you what they are doing. And if you need to like put it in paper so that it makes sense to you, let these people put it in paper and then take it back to these young people and say, okay, is this what you're saying in written form? And then it becomes easier for young people to not focus so much on trying to find the link and trying to look at educational background, the scientific background of what I'm trying to do.
And it's a real problem.
Yeah, because that is a real problem, because the initiatives we see in the community,
very good ones,
but even sometimes as we find
a
problem connecting. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know if like I think like we are going, but anyway, we will connect your shit. Kama tunaenda tu sasa.
It's one thing to have an idea, and it's also another thing to implement it. If we really want these young people to develop their green initiatives, we should not really put a lot of checkboxes around them before even they start. That is one thing. So I would still support the fact that wewe ukipata idea, and
just do it,
provided you can say that this idea is not helping one person, two person, three people. It's helping a community. It's helping the environment.
Yeah.
Underline the word environment, because whenever we say climate change,
climate change, leave it first.
Yes, just start the initiative.
Right. Leave it first, because yes.
So the thing that we have also agreed here is it's very hard for you to do an environmental that is not attaching to.
So don't worry.
So don't worry if you can't connect it on paper. It's connecting. Where we will figure it out.
Yes.
Because if we have to check all the boxes before we start, we may not start. And those boxes, this is also another thing, those boxes are developed from a different environment. Someone wants you to meet checklist that were not developed within your area of operations. Where some of those checklists are coming from.
Yeah.
So someone will ask you to meet a requirement that wewe mwenyewe, your environment, your locality does not allow you to check that box.
Okay. This is what I'll say on the checklist. The first checklist I think that every funder should put is whether the initiative is there. Like regardless of if is it connecting to you, is it matching the papers, it's there. And that means if you have seen that application, or you've seen an interest, or you've heard that young person talking, the first thing just take your time in verifying and going to at least interact. Because sometimes I feel like young people are shut out of applications and funding on these green enterprises because maybe the English is not Englishing, or maybe the academic words in terms of climate change are not there. But the work is there. So why, if just like I said earlier, the first checklist should be the moment you've seen that this enterprise or this idea is there, like wamesema they are doing this, and this, they have said they are doing it, and you go and confirm they are doing it, then you can start negotiating from there and say, okay, this thing you need to, just like I said earlier, you need to put it in paper so that I'm also, because I know also they're checking checklists based on also the funding they're getting. Maybe they got funding from a bank somewhere, know it's money and they need to just for security purposes, but not limiting these green enterprises because of wordings and stuff like that. Yes, for me, a major checklist that should be considered above all checklists is if that enterprise is there only.
Which is very easy to do, because I've seen these applications nowadays where they're saying record a video of you. That's very simple. I would take a very bad phone of mine and explain what is happening. I say,
if you have
this is our kitchen garden. This is what we are doing. Because
You've
now that
seen
is
it.
easier than
That
telling
is
me to
easier.
write 4 paragraphs explaining our kitchen garden.
Yeah, and then from there, if you want to see more about it,
Then now you can move.
come.
Or you can even now saying, okay, now you guys, you're at a point where you can now struggle to write. Because the worst thing is also struggling to write and you don't get the money.
Yes.
But umejua hii ni mtu asha kuchukua kakwambia now struggle to write but you are 80% in.
Yeah.
So hata kama unaenda kutafuta watu wa village who knows English
and that's
to come
where
and write.
People like us will come in because we work with such initiatives. Now we'll come and try to, because now you've been told this way initiative is a good one. Just find a way of, because actually putting it down on paper is important. We are not saying it's not important.
Very important.
It's very important. Now we come to,
it should not just be used as a measure to knock out.
Yes.
Okay.
Because we are not doing
so
away with the literacy fact.
we have talked about the different types. We have given some of the analogies that exist around them, how some of these green enterprises are. We have started talking about financing, though indirectly, and I wanted us to touch it directly.
Okay.
There is a lot that people don't know about financing. My first point, I wanted to make this clear before even I get into financing, is that if you have an idea, just start. You and I bado ntarudia to just start whatever way you can, because even if those proposals come, hata wewe mwenye uko hapa Kenya ushasema one of the things to check is whether they exist. So if it's in your mind,
actually the reason why I'm saying that, and we have examples, we've seen in areas where you are able to negotiate those checklists because your work speaks.
But because it starts from
because
where is it there?
You started, so just start. And you've continued doing it regardless.
So just start.
Yes, so start.
So that's my first thing, even before talking about financing. The second thing I will say about before talking about financing is that don't start an initiative with the mentality of getting funding, because now there is where you try and tweak, you even change your idea. Because today, if you are working on waste, you apply. Tomorrow, I put out a call about water, and then you apply again. I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
removing waste from water.
Yeah. yeah. So you see, some people are also in this game for the funding.
Yeah, no, so this is that's like also for young people. Don't start your green enterprises with the mentality of
the first mentality should be, am I solving a problem within the community? That is the biggest thing. And ideas that solve problem always work even without funding, because if you start providing a green source of fuel that is affordable for community members, you won't need money to come from Europe. Ikikuja ni additional. Why? Because community members are still going to buy this product.
Yeah. Also, the reason why we are saying starting is important, because right now most of the funding that is coming, especially to green enterprises, they have funding that aims at scalability.
Not ideas.
Not ideas.
Yes.
I don't know. Of late, I've seen funding that are aimed at scalability. So you have something that you are already doing. So how do this funding scale you, take you from one level to another? So starting is very important.
We are saying start.
Okay.
The last bit now, I want to look at financing globally. It's becoming a thing. Even with all this, it's even becoming worse with all this global politics that's happening currently. Financing.
Yeah.
So we need to start forgetting about it. But let's just get into it for the sake of knowledge. The entire idea of climate financing started way back. You must be familiar, or I don't know if listeners will be familiar with this, but there is this word UNFCCC. It's United Nation Framework Convention on Climate Change. It's more of like an agreement. See, the word is complicated, but it's simply an agreement that hey, to me agree.
Do we need to look into it as young people?
It's important to know.
Okay.
I'm
going to put that word there so that we also look into it.
It's important to know, because if you don't know where the money is, how are you going to look for it?
Okay.
You see why it's important to know.
You said
UNFCCC, like 3 C's.
3 C's.
So people say UNFCCC, wengine wanasema triple C, the way you put
UNS.
it. Yes.
UN
UNF.
F triple
Yes,
C.
triple C.
UNF
United
triple C.
Nation Framework Convention. Convention is simply an agreement on climate change.
Okay.
Yes, it's a framework convention on climate change.
Okay. I think
Yes.
we'll need to check on that one. Me too, guys.
The reason why I'm bringing it up, it's just important to know where the funding is coming from for you to
Okay.
know where to look. Unaweza enda kuangalia funding Nakuru, kumbe funding iko Mombasa. Unashangaa mbona upati.
Yeah.
So they initially started this agreement that, hey, you know what, we need to have something called climate financing, where some amount of money flows into ideas that help people mitigate, or the other word is
Adapt.
you can we have two solutions
Yes.
to climate change.
Mitigate, adapt.
What's the difference between mitigating and adapting? Now, if you are mitigating, you're only looking at reducing
Yes.
emissions. So you're looking at reducing, how do you
No.
solve green
Is it that or the other way around?
if
you're mitigating.
So what are the words? Let's start from there. We have mitigating and
adapting. Yes.
And I'm saying this
Okay.
without fear of contradiction. Season is Sifuna. I'm
Today
saying
I'm
this.
not going to rest in this episode because I mean
My name, Season is Sifuna. Anyway,
Yes.
let's focus. We have two words here,
Yes.
mitigating and
adapting.
Mitigation. It to complicate, even if you're writing proposals and you're talking about mitigating. Kuna vitu tu ukianza kuongelea you are off. It's simple. The initiative, the enterprise, whatever you're doing should be working towards dealing with greenhouse gases.
Yeah.
And that is emission in general, which is the biggest emission that leads to climate change. It's always CO2. So are you doing carbon sequencing? Are you doing anything that, are you planting trees? Are you all these ideas around restoration? Things to do. Na hapa kunanga shortcut. Hiyo ni kazi.
Hapo, actually most people are not into the mitigating world.
Most people are in advocacy world. Hapo ni kazi.
Yes.
Hapo tusidanganyane. Because the only way you're going to deal with greenhouse gases, you have to do some practical green job. You are either doing forest restoration, nini. Hizo words.
As in, how are you doing away with the carbon emission in the environment?
Hapo hakunanga story mingi. So that is mitigating.
Simply, yes.
Because if that is what is causing climate change and you deal with it, you're mitigating climate change. Now, the other side of
adaptation.
The adaptation. Adaptation simply means that, hey, it will take almost 30 years for us to change our climate change. So do we just stay evil for 30 years tukingoja hizi miti zako zimalize kudu
zile miti 1 million
zile miti 1 million yes,
tuzingoje tu mpaka zipande.
No, we have to do something.
Yes,
so how
as
does
we wait for the 1 million trees. Yes.
So how does the community live within or with the current condition of so those are adaptive measures of how communities can cope, right? So you're looking at energy imekuwa shida na hatuwezi kata miti, hatuwezi ngoja 30 years mpaka miti zikuwe mingi ndio sasa tuseme wacha sasa tuendelee kukata juu sasa zimekuwa mingi. No, kama tukati miti for charcoal, what are alternatives? So you're coming up with clean energy. You are helping the community cope.
You're coming up with briquettes.
You are helping the community cope.
Okay.
Right? That is not a mitigative measure. That is an adaptive measure.
Yes.
You are helping people to cope. And within this spectrum, we're always looking for two things. Vulnerability. So how is a community vulnerable to that? So you will ask yourself, and I'm teaching you how to come up with these ideas. Because when you want ideas,
someone look should at just your community. Have a book and write it.
Look at your community and ask, how vulnerable are they? Maybe tunaongelea energy, but your community, labda hata hiyo energy si, labda already wako na local solar plant, so they don't even need a lot of energy. So what is the other aspect of vulnerability they are facing? Everyone is always vulnerable by the even in Europe, some of those richest environments, there is something that they are vulnerable to. It could be heat.
Yeah,
it could be, yeah.
and in the previous episodes where we are talking about water rationing, and we thought it's only happening in informal settlements.
You realize that even
and
the
our
rich are also
researcher
suffering.
is saying that in Lavington.
Our researcher. Yeah, so
Yes.
there is always something. Ask yourself, why the community that I'm in. If I'm in Lavington, that's my community. If I'm in Madare, that's my community. If I'm in a rural area, that's my community.
So
what are we
you vulnerable?
Then how do you help them?
Cope that they have.
Yes.
Cope with. It's more like
now the
coping
exact word is resilience. How do they
Resilience.
become resilient to that vulnerability?
Okay.
If you provide a solution, hata community tu itaona, they will buy it, and then you find a way to make it a business. They will buy it.
Okay.
And now there you have a business,
Yeah.
which is on the other side
Yeah.
on
Which
adaptation.
is a green enterprise.
Yes.
Yeah.
So green enterprises can always be either on adaptive side or mitigating side.
Which we are saying mitigating can be a bit difficult. We are all agreeing. Actually, I've not come across someone that is offering a solution that is
It's difficult because you need practical things.
Yes.
So for example, if you're going to plant 1 million trees and you're living in Madhara, unaenda kuziplant wapi?
But also
But if I'm coming close to Mau, I can do land restoration. Yeah? I can plant indigenous trees.
It's not also about just planting trees, because there are trees that are also
Exotic
like
trees don't
exotic
help.
trees that don't help.
And do you know how long you need indigenous tree takes to grow?
Yes.
Hata utakufa utaacha kama bado is a very young
So
one.
you see.
So it takes time. Within that period, you need to help the community.
Give me that money for 10 million trees. We do something else, because we might.
We can we as for me as a country, we will focus on mitigating rather
adapting
adapting rather than mitigating.
Yeah, because also the problem with mitigating is because what are we trying to end? Emission of carbon. So the problem might not even be planting trees. The problem might be eliminating these emissions, which we are not ready to, because that means we are going to finish industrialization.
We are not the biggest emitters.
Yes,
so
it's not even
you can't do. It's like solving a problem that hata si yako.
Yeah, that's why we are saying mitigating can be. We can try as a country, but listen, it's say Africa is contributing to 3%. Is it 3%? Is it still at 3%?
But it's still at 3 point
It's still at 3 point
something.
Of the emissions.
Total global
emissions. Global. I've not said Kenya, I've said Africa.
Africa, yani hizo ni hizo 50 sijui something countries.
So if
combined,
you get our own emission as a country,
0 point.
It does not equivalent us to planting 1 million trees. Anyway,
yeah.
Let me leave this tree thing.
You realize that then even climate leadership comes in, because now what you're talking about has nothing to do with enterprises. It has nothing. It has things to do with coming up with strategies. And that's leadership.
Yeah, because actually the people that are supposed to be mitigating climate change are people that have the largest emissions, are those countries that are very industrialized, which is not in Africa. Anyways, let's continue. So we have said what mitigation is. You have said what adaptation is.
Yes. So you
and
UNFC,
those are the key kind of solutions to climate change.
Mostly, almost. Don't even say key.
Those are the
only. Because nimetafuta zingine. Okay, kama kunayo, see, I've not come
according
across.
to us.
Yes.
According to
ziko
us.
tu hizo mbili.
And according to the knowledge we have on climate change.
Yes.
Those are the only solutions to climate change. 1, say it. Mitigation. 2, adaptation.
So you have to ask yourself, align yourself.
Yes, so you align yourself.
Uko wapi? Kwa hii idea yako.
Say try be adaptive.
Yes.
For mitigation.
A lot of good ideas, but you might even get good funding for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might even get very good programs, but if you look at its effectiveness in Kenyan communities,
let's just say African communities.
Yes,
it's not giving.
Hiyo ni kama tumejiingisha kwa shida ya watu wengine, tunajaribu
it's like going to Singapore.
Hapo. Sisi ni Sifuna. Anyway, Let's continue.
Let's continue.
So I was saying that this agreement, the convention, the UNFCCC,
Yes.
they came up with this idea that can we flow some money to help people adapt, to help people mitigate. So that there is where the whole idea of climate financing answer.
Okay.
And every other period, they have always had ways to reinforce that idea. So you realize that after hiyo kwanza huko nyuma, I don't want to term the dates because I might be off.
Yeah.
But kwanza huko nyuma ikikuja tukakuwa na Kyoto Protocol.
Mm-hmm.
Now that was also another just an agreement that hey,
listen to these things and go and do research.
Yeah.
You've said what protocol?
Kyoto Protocol. KYKOTO whatever. Kyoto Protocol. Yeah. So that came up and it was to reinforce the entire idea of ni kama ile tunaongeleanga kitu kama idea then unasema why don't we put it down on paper? Yeah. So ni same thing but upgrade. Umeitoa from just an idea to down on paper. I'm not saying that's what they did, but I'm saying Kyoto Protocol was just reinforcing the other idea. Now another reinforcement is coming again. Tunasonga mbele, tunakuwa na unapata vitu kama Paris Agreement. Hiyo pia unapata iko hapo. Watu wanasema nini this one inafaa. So unapata every time we are having some either an agreement, a policy, a convention that reinforces the other fact that we need to put down some money.
Yeah.
And I think I found one that was a very good one was on the one that happened in Copenhagen where they agreed that they need to raise $100 billion. Dollars, not Kenyan shillings. $100 billion every year, annually, to support mitigation and adaptation. Hapo ndio ukasikia zile funds kama mnakumbuka nikiwaambia you must know where these things are coming from to know where to look for money.
To know where to look for money.
Hapo ndio zile loss and damage funds
zikakuja. Loss and damage.
Because where is that money coming from? It's coming from this fund that these agreements are developing. So we say, hey, you know what? 100 billion and every country. Now I don't want to go into details. We will find some episodes because it might get so technical. Because kuna hizi agreements
let's not get people overwhelmed with information.
But what I'm saying is through these agreements, kuna zenye sasa zili lead to country specific contributions.
Yes.
So each country ilikuwa inafaa itoe pesa fulani to the fund. And then now when this fund is spread ndio unapata kuna fund kama hizo za
pandemic.
Yes. But then they become so specific kama hizo za damage, loss and damage.
Yeah.
So tunasema
so at that point your initiative must be aligning to. So if they I see the importance because if there's a funding on climate change, climate action, but they have specified this funding
on loss and damage.
To address loss and damage.
Yes.
Your initiative has to align with the loss and damage. What is loss and damage? Like
so for example, we know a lot of disasters are climate induced.
Yes.
By climate induced, I mean they're as a result of extreme weather conditions. Yes. Extreme weather conditions simply means climate change. So it could be flooding, it could be drought. So if I was a farmer and there is drought, I'm getting a loss. I'm getting some damages
from drought.
Now I'm a local youth-led organization in that community where people have lost their cattle.
The loss and damage fund.
Yes. And telling them, you don't just apply that, hey, ng'ombe zetu zilikufa nipeni. No, now you're saying,
to connect
you know what, this community wamekuwa wakidepend on ng'ombe. But ng'ombe inasuffer because of this nini. So we want to change them to do farming. And we have started an initiative that helps community members to help them do farming, to address those damages and losses that might occur in the future. You are most likely to get this funding. So as a local youth-led organization, if you don't know where the money is coming from, utakuwa unaandika proposals, you don't get replies and you're wondering, hey, kwani? Kumbe wewe, that year people are focusing on HIV, wewe unaandika juu ya malaria. Just an example.
Yeah.
Yes.
So reading and knowing which fund has been placed on,
which
'cause-
conventions are people talking about, what are the national goals on, because now I've just talked about general hizo zenye unapata direct,
yes,
but we have those that come through the government,
yeah.
and so you have to look at some of those reports when they're reporting back to UNFCCC.
Triple C,
They have to
UNFCCC.
write how the funding they were given has met some of those checkboxes.
Yeah.
One of the checkboxes is always, is it aligned with the national goals so that they become sustainable? If you're having an initiative, a green initiative, ask yourself, what is the national goals that are within the country?
Yeah.
Because all those funding will want to support ideas that are aligned so that they can report that to the where they're getting the money.
Yeah.
So you need to look at things like locally we have local documents that talk about climate change. So in Kenya, you will look at which documents do we have that talk about climate change issues.
Yeah.
So you align yourself. Ukiapply unapata wewe peke yako tu ndio umemeet hizo checkboxes. You get the money.
But will that, okay, I wanted to just point out on something. It, because a lot of people are applying for this kind of funding. People are on the lookout, and like we said, green enterprises most of the time they don't thrive alone without this type of funding. And I think funders have also realized that. So the shift now has gone to not only funding climate solutions, but also looking at funding sustainable climate intervention. And that's where the idea of how are you also able to earn as a person that is coming up with this solution, to whether is it loss and damage, is it whatever problem you're trying to solve that is related to climate change, how is it going to be sustainable, so that we also don't depend on funding. And that's why most of the funding right now are focusing on scaling this green enterprise.
Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah,
What
so we have talked about United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. And I've said it's important to always follow these conversations.
So that you know where the money is coming from.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because we also have annual meetings on the same. So this is not something that Ilitengeneza. They run annual meetings called COP.
And there are people, there are like committees on those to regulate those things.
Exactly.
Yes.
You might think that this funding is always not coordinated. No, it's really coordinated, because when I say that they are contributing 100 billion US dollars, it doesn't mean that for some of the money, it doesn't mean wanachukua hii pesa wanapeleka kwa UNFCCC then sasa wao wanangoja pesa kutoka pale. No.
Yeah.
They are committing. So unaweza pata wewe pesa yako inatoka another country, but ukisha report watasema tulipeana ile pesa.
And also they also commit to look at what percentage goes to which continents. Like for example, they say this is the target. Like we have a target of $100 billion, and this out of 100 billion, this
want
percentage
to focus on this percentage, focusing on this idea.
This idea, or maybe this continent will be given more priority because there are people go to, how do I call it, to bring context of how they're experiencing climate change more, so that more funding need to come to their continent.
So they understand.
So they understand. So there's a percentage that might be, say, for Africa, you'll be out of the target that is there. Africa is allocated this amount. So there are countries that commit to, Germany will contribute this amount. Nini will contribute this. Yes.
It's complicated.
It's complicated.
But for you don't need to look at that complication. You just need to know where the wave is. The worst part is you have an idea, but you are not aligning with what. So for example, COP last year, maybe they said we want to focus on this, but where you are in B,
you're still,
now wako kwa A.
Yes.
You want utashanga umeandika a lot of proposals, but nothing is happening.
They're not aligning.
Yes.
And Mark, disclaimer, Edwin, we are not saying that now when you look at this UNFCCC, you start, after knowing where the money is coming from, the areas they are funding more, you start now changing whatever you are doing.
I'm
We
not
are
saying
saying
change. Align.
aligning, and sometimes your idea might be, what an example do I use?
I'll give an I will let me give this example.
Okay,
These
give
are
an
very
example.
simple ones
Give
that
a
we have
simple
even
example.
talked about.
Okay.
We have talked about food.
Yes.
You are
On
doing agriculture.
Agriculture.
Yes.
Your focus is food security.
Yes.
Yes.
This year's call, general, let's say the global committees have decided we want to look at food security. So wewe unafanya
Urban farming.
Yes, urban farming.
Those different
But ukiandika proposal yako unasema this urban farming, we have employed girls that are doing this farming.
Yes, or you say we are using. Okay,
so you have girls that are doing farming, sindio? And then ukatuma your proposal.
There is nowhere you are mentioning how your planting of sukuma wiki is contributing
to food security.
Umeongelea
gender.
Yes, gender.
But which is a good thing. Yes, but it was not this year's theme.
You see what I'm, so you've not changed your idea of urban farming.
Yes. But how you are writing those farming ideas
but
is the
how
problem.
are you writing so that people see your urban farming contributing to food security?
Yes.
That is what you
Because now the globe is focusing on food security. And all the money is going to food security.
For example, if it's urban farming and the focus is loss and damage.
Yes.
You are not changing urban farming.
You're just doing urban farming,
yes,
but how are you
connecting it to loss and damage? Aligning, not changing.
Not changing.
Yes, I just wanted to make that clear.
Yeah. Yes. I think that's very clear. So that's why it's important to know some of these things, what is happening in COP, what is happening in this convention, what is the Paris Agreement saying, what is happening in global politics right now.
What I'll say, when in green enterprises, and green enterprises are climate change solutions, either adaptive
and
or
most of their funding comes from abroad. So those are the basic
Yes.
facts that we are working.
Those are just
so
facts.
muta sifikiria hii story sasa nyinyi
Yes.
mnaongelea green economy ama mnaongelea.
Those are the best.
Those are basic facts.
Yes.
And that's why it's
remember
we
said we are focusing. We've left business. We've left social enterprises because they might not be like green enterprises. We've let businesses that are becoming green. Yeah. We are focusing on green enterprises stroke innovations.
Yeah.
And we are agreeing most of these green enterprises rely on funding. And most of this funding come from
abroad.
And most of this funding coming from abroad work on regulation. And these regulations are in these things that you're saying.
Yes.
And for you to get this funding, you have to meet the regulations or to align with the regulation. And that means you need to know them. Now, which leads us back to saying you need to read.
No. just get to
know.
What I wanted to say is that you might say that not all your money is coming from the UN bodies and all that. But trust you me, all those other funding bodies are also aligning.
Yes, as long as you are a funder.
You are aligning.
You have to align.
Yes. So utapata wanasema mimi I was surprised that even embassies align.
Yes.
Because if your country, let's pick a country that won't take offense. Wenye tumewaka now Portugal embassy.
Yes.
Au ni partners hatuwezi kasirikiana. So Portugal has made some commitment in the UN meetings that they have. That sisi kama tunaamua tufanye hivi na hivi.
And to make sure, I don't know if you've seen even movies, if to make it even in movies, this I don't want to say political movies, but these diplomatic movies, they have a session where they normally go to the UN.
Yes.
And there you see France.
Yes,
so
they
every
go to those
country
meetings.
Is represented to align, to make
so when they commit, when they come back within the country, all ministries commit. And one of the ministries is Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which runs embassies.
Yes.
So wewe unasema mi sipatangi pesa yangu kutoka huko, mi napatanga kutoka kwa embassy. But that embassy is part of a foreign ministry that has committed to run that.
And you also remember when we went to Denmark, the ministry that we were really focusing into talking to showing
Yes.
the solutions that young people are coming in Africa was the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Do you know why? They'll have to report.
Yes.
So they need to know these things so that when they go
Yes.
to report,
Yeah.
and they're not reporting where they have not placed money. So they'll place money and then they want to know what happened so that they go and report.
Yeah, true.
Aligning is very, very important. If you want to be a partner with us, now that we are working,
You have to.
exactly, because
Yeah.
you might give me, we might do something that we can't report, because whether we report it, how they don't need that. The report that they want is different. You're giving me something on gender. Yes, you are empowering girls to do urban farming. Yes, sijakata. But mimi nataka report ya food security. When it comes to there, forget about girls doing the skumas. Just tell us how the skumas are sustaining families.
And we are not saying, actually, the connection is always there. It's just us not aligning at that point.
Some of those things don't need you to change your ideas.
You don't change.
Actually, all of them don't need you to
all
change
of
your
them.
ideas.
Most of the time, actually, all of them don't normally need you to change your idea.
And if you find that you have to change, then maybe that's just not your grant. You
that
can't
is not
also
your
apply
grant.
in all
Actually,
the grants.
you can't be like...
Kuna grants that are just meant for children. Some are meant for climate change. Some are meant for diseases. So, for example, kama akina AstraZeneca, the companies, they mostly
we
focus
cannot
on...
apply
Yeah,
to
they're
us
focusing on
as
medical
yes.
issues.
Yes,
So, yes, the money is there, but sasa nitaanza aje kutwist climate change
Yes,
address
true.
tobacco.
Come
So,
on. See, you can say
yeah, so ukiona that you have to change, then maybe it's just not yours.
that is not your funding.
Wachana tunayo. Ukiapply, you are messing up wenye wako kwa hiyo field.
Leave it for other people in that
just
field.
leave it.
So if it's your funding, you just need to align. Yeah, not really change your idea. Good. You're getting somewhere.
Yeah, so with funding, I think that's, unless we have
actually that
extra
is the
questions,
major thing, because there are a lot of now politics into climate finance. Not politics. Sorry. There are a lot of other information into climate financing now.
A lot. Me hata si expert.
Actually,
I wish you guys met some.
Financing,
it's an
entire
how will I say it? Profession.
Yes. So you just need to pick what you need to know at a particular time.
And I think for youth-led enterprises, you don't even need to know much. Just know enough to align.
Yes, know enough to align and to understand where the money is coming from. Yes. Because there are a lot of things that come into it. Now, you go into details on how even countries come into agreement.
I have a friend of mine, and his position is climate something, like climate financing as a position in an organization. So it's an entire it's an entire career.
Profession.
So you don't need to read everything. You don't need to know
just
everything.
pick at the actually the things that you've said are important for you.
General,
unless you want to become a profession in climate
then you
financing.
have to read more.
Because sometimes I had people that were saying they want to learn more about climate finance, and I was like, okay, that is, do you know what you're saying? What do you need to know about climate financing? So you need to really sit down, and because when you say it's like you want to become an expert of climate, a profession, and a profession means you want to be people that negotiators. You know they are negotiators.
I have a friend who does that.
Are they called negotiators?
Yes, negotiators.
Yeah. People that argue with...
I was saying I have a friend who does that. Akona PhD mbili. So if you want to get
it's because it's like you're going to UN to negotiate why this money is important.
Or why this theme is important. Unaona sasa hao ndio hao wenye wana set
they come up
that
with,
this year we
they
need
decide
to go.
Loss and damage.
Yes. So when they decide, if you are not
just
in the
deciding,
they need to convince those who are giving money that, hey, we need to focus on loss and damage.
Yeah, so it's for what you've said is what we need to know about climate financing. Unless you want to become like a negotiator or a consultant in climate financing, then Apple go to school, we cannot help.
You need to learn more.
Yeah.
We have green finances in Kenya that we need to look at.
Okay.
getting those ones are because these are utapata online at apply. Those are very complicated ones. You
Yeah.
maybe have to.
Me
I don't
actually,
know.
I
It's-
am. We are always actually. Me personally, I'm afraid of anything financing that is Kenya regulated.
But now those ones even
Yeah,
have more money
more
because they are being
money.
controlled by the central,
Yeah.
nini, by the not central bank, World Bank.
Mm-hmm.
Ndio hizi zenye unapata tuna plant na 1,000,000 trees, hizi zenye
Sure.
unapata sijui tunafanya nayo green works.
Yeah,
Hizo
water
ndio
fund.
hizo finances. So the only problem I have with them is that there's so much that maybe as a small youth-led organization hauwezi pata unless you are a big company. People like Clean Cooking Alliance, that is a countrywide. Actually sahi wako East Africa. So those ones they can leverage on some of this funding. You see Benny,
Yeah.
massive.
And you know what you need to have
To-
massive funding.
Yes,
Also,
it's a lot of.
that also means when you're applying for funding, look at your
I think
capabilities.
this conversation is just heading the
fund-
right way. Now
Yes.
we are in the next thing.
Yes,
Capacity.
This is what
Yes.
I'll want to say now. Before you continue and like give us like more insight on that, before you start applying, don't see a fund that is like 500 million US dollars and you apply. Then when you don't get it, you start.
Sasa wewe hata hiyo pesa nikikupe
Yeah,
umejua utacheese.
So because the regulations, the checklist, and the terms and conditions
Different.
are totally different depending
Yeah, 1
on the
million.
amount of funding.
Yeah, 6 million. Yeah, 10 million. Yeah, 100 million.
Yeah.
They're totally different.
That's why sometimes you might find a youth-led organization getting funding of like 1 million for like a lot of times, and the person cannot be able to get funding for 10 million at once.
Wezi.
Yeah.
Wezi.
So also, this is also to put your, if you're applying for this funding, okay, the first thing you've done is you've already seen where the money is, you have aligned your initiative to the area of funding at that time, right?
Yeah.
Now, the capacity to the different funds that are out there.
You have to
think about that.
Now, this is what I'm saying. There is this
I
word
feel
called...
like this is like an educative episode.
that was the idea.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
for green enterprise.
For green enterprise,
yes.
only if you're...
So there is the word I'm always very keen on called being deliberate. Being deliberate means when you know you are going... We know every year we must have COP. We know every year they must choose an area. You know every year they must have funding. I might not be eligible to apply for funding this year. But next year, najua the same fund will come again.
I will get
it next year.
So you
start.
worked towards getting that funding when it comes next.
Sai, I'll talk of personal maybe endeavors.
Yeah.
Internally, sisi hapa what we have. We even have funding that we have like pointed out. But do you know when we are planning to apply for them?
We have not applied it
3 years.
Yet. Yes.
3 years to
because
come.
We know.
Now we cannot
Guys,
get.
We know.
Yes, because if a funding maybe is asking you that one of the requirement is that you must have an annual budget of 100 maybe 100 million Kenyan shillings every year. Sisi rent tushalipa ya 30 hata 30 we are among the top. Na imeisha hivyo.
Why are you saying very information?
But I'm just saying, kama rent
Help us
tushalipa
pay
30
rent,
kwisha. What
Yeah.
else do we need? So expense yetu per year ni 30,000. Yeah, nataka organizations that are spending 100. And do you know why they are asking for that? It's not because they want your money or your admin. They know for you to spend 100 million
And
every
do
year,
you know,
you must have some things in
let me
place.
say this. If you don't have the capacity and then you get money,
It's
you
worse.
know it is going to be hey, you're even going to wish you didn't get that money because it's going to be difficult for you
But that's
to
killing.
liquidate that money.
That's killing you because
Yes.
most probably you're not going to liquidate. And because ile pesa ni pesa inatoka yearly, these guys are not going to kill you. Watakuacha, but they will block you. If they block you, it means... I think the word block is very... I don't need to explain.
Yeah.
You will never get funding from anyone.
Yes.
Where sasa ni tululu?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have to choose your battle. If you're a young person and you're still having ambitious
I know we are
goals.
ambitious
Yes.
and we want to.
You have a whole
It's
entire life.
gradually,
Yes.
gradually. You reach a level where you apply for 38 million US
And you
dollars
get.
and you get. And you are able to liquidate and do things and report back.
I know this is someone that has been putting his work online, so there is nothing private about this. I would just love to share. It's a very good stories we have been following. It's called. I'm looking for the word Shofko in full.
Shining.
It's always something, but Shofko, you guys know
Wait,
Shofko.
let me write it. Yes.
Shofko.
Shining
Hope
hope for communities.
for communities.
Yes.
Shofko. Shining hope for communities.
Yes.
So Shofko's story is one that is always very interesting because the CEO of Shofko was a local from an informal settlements. Amekuwa tu around, ameanzisha initiative yake kadogo, amepata pesa hapa na pale to do small initiatives. If you look at Shofko ikianza, the amount of grants they were getting, and now Shofko now the amount of, because they're still an organization, is still getting grants.
Yes.
Do you know how much they are able to get right now?
To know how much, so that other people are able to apply to get grant from them. So that
and the reason why I'm not saying this is
they have mentioned
this public
there,
because if you go to their LinkedIn, they will tell you the grants that wamepata. We are happy to announce that we are starting this project with a budget of.
And actually, they say it because some of their projects include sub-granting. Yeah, so for you, so that for you. Also check out Shofco. They always have some by village people sub-granting initiatives.
Uraia ilianza aje? As a civic training initiative. Watu tu wanafundisha watu constitution. Sai.
We are applying grants from them.
So what I'm saying is, you have you can become that initiative.
But you have to start somewhere.
Yes. Meaning, hizi vitu zenye zitakuweka kwa shida ukose kufika huko, wachana nazo.
Yeah, just leave.
Because if the Shofco CEO was blacklisted 20 years ago,
they wouldn't have been him.
Yes.
Only because they applied for a funding that was too much and they got it and they were not able to report it. No.
Because you might get it's very good for us to say that you might get.
You might,
because unaweza danganya hapa pale, unadanganya alafu idea yako because ni mzuri
you get.
But
now this one, I'm sure, this one say I said. I know I normally put disclaimer, but this one say I said. If you get money that is not on your level of capacity, it's going to be difficult for you to liquidate that money. And liquidating means like to use it and report
that you have
used it. Yes. It's going to be.
Because even the expectations change.
Yes.
When I give you a small amount, nakwambia we tuma tu email nitaona. If I give you a big grant, I will want a detailed report, like 60 pages of report. Ukiapply kuandika 2 pages ilikuwa shida. Sasa kureport 60 pages ndio utaweza.
Don't say it like that.
But it is the truth. Because for you, and that is narrative. Finance nataka file start unione receipt, kila receipt.
And most of these big grants, they are not always like reported on like a monthly or
quarterly. So that's like
even quarterly or like annually. Yes.
Biannually.
Biannually.
So if you still get like 100 million biannually, those who get like 300, 400 annually. So unapata unapewa pesa Januari.
You have to report.
Tunataka yani ikifika Oktoba mshaanza stress kwa hiyo organization. So mtu anasema ati October, November, December is 3 months. Hizo 3 months ni kama 3 days. Reporting. Sa hizo ndio receipt ya Januari tarehe 3 haipatikani.
Stop it.
I've stopped. So we were looking at being deliberate.
But the point is home. Or what do you think?
We were talking about being deliberate. So being deliberate would mean I know that I can't get this amount, but what do I need? I need to start working on my finances. Yes. So nyinyi mko pale mkinunua mandazi, hebu ambia huyo mama awaandikie tu kakitu. Ile nyumba yenyu muna rent hapo 3,000 rent. Hiyo ni karoom kadogo ndio ofisi yenu. Ofisi za huko zinanga nini hizi landlord wa huko wananga receipt. So how do you talk to your landlord? Mwanze kuweka receipt.
The records of receipt.
Kafaili yenyu mnawekanga vitu zenyu. mujipe hizi positions not just by name but hata kwa pepa mumeandika so and so is the chairperson nini hizi minutes tunasema muandikange just right. Na kama nyinyi mshapita level ya minutes but kuna meetings zenye nyinyi kwa nayo
or the different reports of
yes,
different
just have
activities
reports.
you're
Yeah, you
doing.
might fail
Yeah,
to
yeah.
write minutes but you
But
have
you have
reports.
activities, so where are the reports of
Now
those
when we talk
activities?
about report, people think they have to have an entire project. No,
Mhm.
mumeenda clean up. Yes, just
Yeah.
write leo page moja. Leo tulikuwa na nani tumefanya
This
clean
number
up.
of people we
This
did
is
clean
what
up
we
there,
intended
there.
to.
Yes.
Nini.
How was the cleanup? If people
Mkimaliza
turn up, blah, blah, blah.
piga clip mnaiweka pale kwa.
Profile. Make a date vizuri stamp.
Exactly. What do I mean? You're starting to build documentation. Because hizi vitu ukiambiwa umeapply leo alafu unaambiwa please forward us your documentation by Friday end of business. Closure of business. 3 days.
You are not able to find those things.
You cannot. But again, if you can, then what will you be doing? It's even worse than not finding.
Yeah.
So anza tu kuzipile.
Slowly. Yes.
By the time zinatakikana you're able to show. Now some of these people don't look at whether you have them or not. They look at, are you even making an effort to have them? You remember some of our grants we came, we didn't have anything, but they saw that they are trying to have. So some of this funding they're also looking at, are these people even willing to do it?
And
because
I remember also admitting that they don't have these, because I remember in such funding we were saying, so there were those kind of checklists and whatever they were looking at, and you could say, we don't have this, or we were still working on this, or we were planning on working on this, but we didn't do because we don't have financial this and this. So those people are like, oh, they see, and sometimes they even offer now to facilitate you to be able to get those things.
They even they gave us a special budget line for a specific thing we didn't have.
That you didn't have. Yeah, true.
But wewe unaulizwa hii uko nayo?
Yes.
Sina. Hata una reason kama hao magavana. Uko na hii hauna. Hata una reason. This is Sibuna.
But for let me just say, me those government, I don't even continue.
It's not going to be easy in this country.
Hey.
Living in this country is not going to be easy.
The people shall.
We shall.
Now they are saying they don't want to be in news, those things.
Pesa kama ni yako ni sawa, don't
pesa
go.
Yetu
kama pesa ni yetu.
You've said I cannot tax nil. Now means me, a young person that don't even have work, I have to pay taxes. Now when you want to be news of those taxes,
wewe wacha kuwa Sifuna, wewe ni June.
Kila mtu ni Sifuna sasa.
Sisi ni Sifuna.
Anyway,
yeah, so tulisema being intentional.
Yeah.
Just try gathering these things. And then kuna pia hapa na itakuwa ngumu kuongelea because it's affecting Kenya as a whole.
Okay.
Integrity is not a thing in Kenya. Integrity is not a thing. And integrity, by integrity I don't mean you be holy. Holier than that. No one is holy.
Holy litushinda huko kwa nini gadani ya deni amenetwaje.
When I talk of integrity is that wewe pesa zenye mmekuwa nayo kwa organization, because that is also what they check.
Okay.
Umesema umekuwa unafanya farming for 2 years, right? Na uko na kuku moja.
Yeah, I sold some and I've not bought.
See, I should see that.
What?
In the finances, pesa ya kuuza imeingia. Mimi naona 100,000 iliingia. Umefanya nao project. But uko na kuku mbili hapo. Sioni siku yenye umeuza kuku, sioni siku. Sasa integrity, okay, mnajua kitu naongelea wadau, sifaini. I don't need to belabor this point.
No,
we all know what I'm talking about.
Makes sense.
And I'm not saying that you need to be holier than thou. I'm not calling for perfection. We all know what happened even in the...
Where?
Yo muuliza where ni kama uko ready.
Where?
We know what happened with our big funder here. the United States USAID.
Yes.
So kama hao ndio wana run projects big hivyo, but there was some
Not even
issues.
some, there were issues.
Yes.
You are
So no
going
one is
far away.
perfect.
You are
No
going
one is
far away.
perfect.
Start with our news,
Yes.
our leaders.
Yes. But wachana na our leaders.
They are buying seedlings.
What I'm
for
saying
maize.
is for
Maize seedlings.
USAID, there were graft cases, serious ones,
Mhm.
but at least people still got medicine. People still did.
Yes.
There was things that were being
Yes.
done.
Yes.
And if these evaluators come, they'll also see effort. Effort. Jo imaanishi ati sasa wewe vitabu zako are superb. Some of the grants tumepata, our things were just left, right and center, but tulikuwa tunaweka effort. So for green initiatives pale nje, integrity, just put effort to have integrity in you. Ukienda kununua mandazi mbili nikuulize receipt, haimaanishi na kushuku. Just give me the receipt.
Yes.
Na kama una receipt, at least have an explanation.
Yes.
Governors, at least have an
explanation of how you are able and where you are able to get maize seedlings.
Yes. Lakini magavana mnatuchukua sisi ni wajinga sana.
Anyway. Kwanza na sisi mi kama ni senator, yani governors now ni senator kama they are behind.
Anyway, yeah, so again, I think I should just finish by saying let's be deliberate. Integrity is just
important.
be deliberate.
Yes.
Work towards it.
And we are saying this from actually this is now we are saying from a point of experience in the different projects that we have in a different fundings that we've been able to get. There are certain things that we did not have, and there are certain scenarios where we purchased something and we were not able to get receipts to them, maybe because of the area where we are working, and you are able to explain that. And if the funder will now come up with a different way, or if you're working in an area where there are no receipts, now how do you
work with your funder to come up
with your funder to come up with a different thing? Because just be truthful. Not sasa you've been asked where is the receipt, you
wananishuku
wananishuku pesa yao sijui nini blah blah blah. If you just explain, because they're also like human beings, they'll understand. So from that, and they're also able to see the work that you're doing, so that integrity comes both way. You're able to show integrities, and it's also able to be seen through the work that you're doing with your initiative. Can we leave it at that?
It depends. So tumeongelea ideas. I mean what green entrepreneurship means. Tukaongelea the global scenario and where the money is coming from. Tukaongelea the best way to align yourself to get this funding. Tukaongelea internally what you need to do internally
to get the funding.
I think the last thing we need to talk about before we finish is the environment that these people are working in, the green enterprises. We have seen cases where the environment you're working in does not support your work or is hostile to the work that you're doing. This would mean for ideas or for funding opportunities like the carbon markets, people have a lot of interest. We all know what has happened recently with cocoa and the ulabaloo that was going on around there. And that was a very good green enterprise working towards an energy.
Clean energy.
So we also have to understand that this word is always something that people fail to know. And I came to know it very late. Well, I met a very good friend of mine later in life after just about nikimaliza hivi university. Someone asked me, hey, Edwin, you are a very good leader in high school. How comes university haukupata position yoyote? Then I said, high school ilikuwa leadership, but university ni politics. He smiled, akacheka, tukanyamaza. Hata mimi sasa nikaanza kufeel, kwani hiyo kitu nimesema, what have I said? And then he told me, Edwin, what? Our life, we are a political. There is no way you're going to have... We niambie mahali hakuna politics, hata kwa nyumba, in your siblings pale. the way you talk to your parents so that you might get shoes na ule mwingine your parent maybe is not in a position to buy all of you shoes. Do you know what you do there so that you are the one who gets the shoe? That's politics. Unaosha vyombo pale, unaambia mama vitu mzuri. Mwingine naye anajua mama kwangi favorite wake, ana deal na baba hii side. Ama mwingine anajua our parents nikiongea na firstborn mwenye anapendwa hata. It's politics. Everything, our life is political. Why do we assume that green enterprises don't operate within a political sphere?
Kwanza, that is the biggest political field.
Exactly. So lately, you also have to know how to play the politics around the politics around carbon markets, politics are around na sahi, even the global the entire global political arena has affected because climate change was a big thing that was getting into
and then
politics
someone
and
says there's climate change is not
it's a hoax. That is politics. That is not usimwangalie uanze kusema huyu jamani mjinga sijui yeye pia anacheza tu politics yake. So wewe
he has interest that is trying to protect.
As green entrepreneurs, we have to be politically sharp. We have to advocacy inafaa ikuwe, we are very ufai ukuwe tu wewe you're doing urban farming na imeishia hapo. You're doing urban farming but you're creating awareness.
Look at the things around your urban farming. What is happening?
You are influencing policies. You are talking to local leaders. You are I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yeah, you're making sense. Is he making sense? To me, you have made
sense. So I'm not saying that uingie politics, nini ati, so you become an MCA, nini, if you want, fine. But I'm saying politics is not just what we know of this leader and that leader, and 1 term and 2 terms. No. That's also part of politics. But there is this other politics where you get into boardrooms, you influence the way things are moving. You might not benefit from it now, but maybe the next generation of green enterprises will benefit. So, for example,
the next funding that is coming will be as a result of you. Yeah.
You mentioned somewhere that we were once part of teams that influenced some of these checklists. The worst part is that some of us didn't even benefit from those checklists that we were able to influence.
Actually, our struggles with those checklists made us start talking about those checklists that were later
changed and other people
benefited from them. True.
That was politics, because we were trying to influence the administrative way of doing things. So what am I saying? As green enterprises, we have to be conscious of our political environment. I don't want to say this on air because I think it's controversial, but can everyone just go and read the recent story of Cocoa and the stories around it, why they closed, the deals that was going on carbon markets? It's an interesting story. I read it and I realized, okay, this is not something that you can talk about it really. Because I think some of the things are still in court. I don't know.
Yeah, we cannot talk about it yet.
If they are finalized, fine. But we will have another day to talk. But you go check. Yeah. So that will be my final. I think we have covered
the basics. Yeah. What do you think about that conversation? Was it helpful? Or do you think there's something we've missed? Or what more about this conversation? When I say this, I mean green enterprise conversation. Do you want us to bring? Or who do you want us to bring next when it comes to green?
I have a friend of mine who is very good at this. Bwana Shikuku mwenyewe.
Yes.
Edwin Shikuku will be here.
We'll bring
every
him.
Now.
We'll bring
kila mtu ni Edwin. But kuna Edwin Shikuku will be here. Very good entrepreneur.
We are committing to continue with this conversation. So you can also tell us which areas you need us to have conversation on. Is there someone you feel should come and continue helping us in this conversation? Or is there a point that you need to add that we've left out, or something that we said that might not be resonating with you and you have a different opinion?
That makes sense. We will also have, I'm thinking we need to have a special edition, because our conversation have always been something interesting that everyone can talk about. But maybe we have that 1% that need the technical conversation. like getting deeper into climate financing. So
Yeah.
hiyo tunaweza fanya because it's always not such an interesting but a very
Yeah,
educative.
also getting into
Yes.
the political aspect of climate change.
Yes. So we can do special
Yeah,
ones
the
for those ones.
accountability part.
Hii
So
tulikuwa
just
tuna
say,
avoid tunasema si
so
lazima.
just say,
Yeah.
we have, as we have lawyers, we can have those conversations. But just comment there which area. Don't be afraid of an area that you feel maybe it will be
Because labda sisi
controversial.
we are avoiding it because we think it will be boring to people.
Yes.
Kumbe someone wants to hear it.
Yeah. We have fortunately we have a list of people that are expert in those categories that you say. We have climate
Financing.
the consultant that you're saying
Yes.
that is also like a cop in cop and stuff like that. We have people like Calvin, who is a green enterprise entrepreneur. And we have different people that are in the field of climate change, climate action, climate solutions, every kind. So just comment which area you want us to talk about more, and also comment how was this conversation. Did you find it helpful? If yes, make sure you share it, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, my name is June, and this is the Urban Online Show.